You're 50 years old, your retirement account balance is zero, or close enough that it doesn't matter, and every article you read seems written for someone who started at 25. This one isn't. According to the Federal Reserve's 2022 Survey of Consumer Finances, the median retirement savings for Americans aged 45 to 54 is just $115,000. That sounds like something, until you realize that the bottom quartile of that age group has essentially nothing. Tens of millions of people are exactly where you are right now. Here's what this video is going to do. It's going to walk you through a specific, realistic, 15-year rebuild plan using real IRS numbers, real Social Security mechanics, and real math, so that by the time you finish watching, you know exactly what levers exist, how hard they can pull, and what a plausible outcome actually looks like, starting from zero at 50. The reality check. Let's name the anxiety directly. You've heard the number, $1 million or $1.50 million, as the retirement target, and from zero at 50, that sounds impossible. My take is this: that number is largely a myth for most Americans, and chasing it causes people to give up before they start. Here's the more useful frame. According to the Social Security Administration, the average monthly Social Security benefit for a retired worker in 2025 is approximately $1,978. Annualized, that's roughly $23,700 per year. For a single person whose home is paid off and whose major expenses are controlled, Social Security alone covers a meaningful portion of basic needs. The gap between what Social Security provides and what you actually need to live. That's the number you're trying to fill. That gap is far more achievable than $1 million from scratch. Your gap depends on your lifestyle, your location, and your health costs. Those vary enormously, but the structure of the problem is the same for everyone. Social Security is your floor, and savings plus any pension or part-time income fills the space above it. Keep that frame in mind for everything that follows. What the IRS actually lets you catch up. This is where the rules genuinely favor late starters, and most people don't know how favorable the rules actually are. In 2025, if you're 50 or older, the IRS allows you to contribute up to $31,000 per year to a 401k or 403b. That's the standard $23,500 limit plus a $7,500 catch-up contribution. For a traditional IRA or Roth IRA, the limit is $8,000, the standard $7,000 plus a $1,000 catch-up. Now, here's a change that took effect in 2025 that most people haven't heard about. The Secure 2.0 Act, passed in late 2022, created a new super catch-up for workers aged 60 through 63. Starting in 2025, if you're in that age window and your employer plan allows it, your 401k catch-up limit jumps to $11,250, not $7,500. That brings the total possible 401k contribution for a 60 to 63-year-old to $34,750 in 2025. That's not a small difference. Over 4 years, ages 60 through 63, the extra $3,750 per year in contributions invested at a 6% return adds roughly $16,500 to your balance by age 65. Small individually, meaningful in a plan built from zero. Now, I know what you're thinking. I can't max a 401k. Most people can't. But the lesson from the catch-up rules isn't max everything. The lesson is, every dollar you put in at 50 or later works harder inside a tax-advantaged account than it would in a taxable brokerage. The tax deferral, or tax-free growth in a Roth, is compounding on top of your investment returns. That's the mechanical advantage late starters can still access. One thing that trips people up, the Roth IRA income limit. In 2025, the ability to contribute directly to a Roth IRA phases out between $150,000 and $165,000 of modified adjusted gross income for single filers, and between $236,000 and $246,000 for married filing jointly. If you're above those thresholds, you still have options, including the backdoor Roth conversion, but the direct contribution route closes. Your filing status and income level change the math here. The Social Security timing decision. Social Security is the most powerful income lever most late starters have, and the timing decision is worth far more money than most people realize. Here's the core mechanic: your full retirement age, the age at which you receive 100% of your earned benefit, is 67 if you were born in 1960 or later. According to the Social Security Administration, for every year you delay claiming past full retirement age, your benefit grows by 8%, up to age 70. Claim at 70 instead of 67, and your monthly check is 24% larger for the rest of your life. For someone with a full retirement age benefit of $2,000 per month, that's the difference between $2,000 and $2,480 every single month. Over a 20-year retirement, that's an additional $115,200 in lifetime income, before accounting for Social Security's inflation adjustments, which are built into every payment through cost of living adjustments. My take is clear. If you're in average health or better, and you have any way to bridge income from 67 to 70, part-time work, a small draw from savings, a spouse's income, delaying to 70 is usually the right call. The break-even point for delayed claiming is roughly age 80. According to the Social Security Administration, the average life expectancy for a 50-year-old American today is approximately 81 years for men and 84 years for women. Most people make it past the break-even. The exception is genuine health concern. If you have a condition that significantly shortens your expected lifespan, or if you are in acute financial distress right now, earlier claiming makes sense, but that's the exception, not the default. Don't claim early just because you're anxious. That anxiety is exactly what the financial industry profits from. One more thing people get wrong here. Social Security benefits are not always tax-free. Up to 85% of your Social Security income can be subject to federal income tax depending on your combined income. If you're drawing from a traditional IRA at the same time, those withdrawals count toward that threshold. How you sequence your income sources in retirement affects your tax bill. A tax-efficient withdrawal order matters, and that's worth a conversation with a fiduciary. The expense lever. Most people ignore. Here's the lever that doesn't get enough attention. Cutting your required income in retirement is mathematically equivalent to having more savings. Think about it this way. If you need $4,000 per month in retirement and Social Security covers $2,000, you need your savings to generate $2,000 per month. At a 4% withdrawal rate, the guideline derived from the Trinity study, which examined 30-year retirement scenarios across historical market returns, you'd need $600,000 saved to generate that $2,000 per month sustainably. But if you reduce your monthly need from $4,000 to $3,500 by paying off your mortgage before 65, downsizing, or relocating, your savings gap shrinks from $600,000 to $450,000. That's $150,000 less you need to accumulate. From 0 at 50, that's an enormous difference. The right move here isn't to deprive yourself. It's to audit what your retirement actually costs. Housing is the biggest line item for most Americans. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, housing accounts for roughly 34% of total spending for Americans 55 and older. A paid-off home or a strategic downsize is one of the highest leverage moves available to a late starter, more so than squeezing grocery bills. A worked example, from 0 to a real number. Let me make this concrete with a specific scenario. Walk through this with me. You're 50 today, 0 saved. You're able to contribute $500 per month, $6,000 per year, to a Roth IRA or traditional 401k. You invest in a low-cost index fund with a 6% average annual return, which is a conservative estimate based on long-term historical equity returns. Vanguard's long-term return assumptions for a balanced portfolio sit in the 5% to 7% range depending on allocation. At that savings rate, by age 65, 15 years from now, you'd have approximately $139,000. That's real money, but it's not a full retirement by itself. Now, layer in the catch-up rules. Starting at age 50, if you increase contributions to $1,000 per month, $12,000 per year, which is still below the IRS catch-up limits, that same 15-year runway at 6% returns produces approximately $278,000. Add the super catch-up from ages 60 to 63 if you bump to $1,500 per month just during those 4 years and maintain $1,000 the rest of the time. The balance at 65 climbs closer to $320,000. Now add Social Security. If your full retirement age benefit is $1,800 per month and you delay to 70, that becomes $2,232 per month. But you retire at 65 and bridge 5 years from your savings, drawing roughly $2,000 per month to cover basic expenses while you wait. That draws your $320,000 down to about $200,000 by 70. Then Social Security kicks in at $2,232. Your $200,000 in remaining savings at a 4% withdrawal rate generates about $667 per month. Combined monthly income at 70, roughly $2,900. If your paid-off housing expense is low, that covers a modest but stable retirement. That's not a fantasy. That's arithmetic from 0 at 50. Your numbers will differ based on your income, your Social Security earnings history, your investment returns, and your expenses, but the structure of the math works. The levers exist. What most people get wrong about starting late. I cover catch-up retirement strategy for late starters, and the single biggest mistake I see is this. People conflate starting late with having no options. That belief is what actually causes harm, not the late start itself. Here's what the data shows. According to Vanguard's 2024 How America Saves report, the average 401k balance for participants aged 55 to 64 is $207,874, but the median is just $71,168. That gap between average and median tells you that a small number of large balances are pulling the average up. Most people in their late 50s and early 60s are not sitting on $200,000. They're much closer to the median, or below it. That means the competitive landscape of retirement is not what financial media portrays. You are not uniquely behind. You are statistically normal. And statistically normal people retire every day with Social Security, modest savings, controlled expenses, and some part-time income. What most people also get wrong is treating retirement as a binary cliff, fully employed one day, fully retired the next. The research on phased retirement shows real benefits. A 2023 analysis by the Employee Benefit Research Institute found that workers who transitioned to part-time work between 62 and 67 were able to significantly reduce the rate at which they drew down savings, extending portfolio longevity by years. Delaying full retirement by even 2 or 3 years while working part-time changes the math substantially. The right frame isn't, "Can I ever retire?" It's, "What does my best 65 look like given what I can actually do between now and then?" That's a question you can answer, and the answer is almost always better than you think. I'm not a licensed financial advisor. This is general education, not personalized advice. Consult a fiduciary before acting. If this gave you a clearer picture, subscribe to Money After 50. New videos drop every other day, all built for people who are starting this conversation later than they planned. Coming up next, your 50s are your highest leverage decade, and there are 6 specific moves that matter most if you're behind. I'll walk through every one of them in the next video. If there's a specific retirement question you want me to dig into, Social Security timing, Roth conversions, Medicare costs, anything, drop it in the comments and I'll work it into an upcoming video. And if you want a tool to start modeling your own numbers, I'll link a resource below. This video may contain affiliate links. I only recommend tools I use personally.